There are moments that arrive without warning. You are not thinking about anyone in particular. You are not remembering a memory, replaying a fantasy, or reaching for desire. And yet suddenly you feel it. A wave of warmth moves through your body, a subtle pressure in your chest, a deep, intimate sensation that feels personal, yet strangely not yours alone. It doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't come from thought. It doesn't need a trigger. It simply appears. Have you ever felt emotionally or physically aroused for no apparent reason, only to sense that the experience carried a presence beyond your own body? Have you ever felt connected, touched, or drawn toward someone, even when there was no message, no call, no memory, no interaction at all? And perhaps the most unsettling question of all, how could something feel so intimate when no one was physically there? For many people, these experiences are dismissed immediately. They are labeled as imagination, hormones, loneliness, wishful thinking. But for others, especially those walking the twin flame path, these moments feel different. They carry a signature that the mind struggles to explain, yet the body instantly recognizes. This is not about fantasy. This is not about desire alone. And this is certainly not about coincidence. This is about an invisible exchange, a silent conversation, a sacred current moving between two souls who share the same energetic origin. What if sexual energy could travel without touch? What if intimacy could exist beyond space and time? What if desire itself was not always born in the mind but transmitted through consciousness? This is where the story begins. Because long before words, long before bodies, and long before physical union, energy was already communicating. And twin flames are uniquely wired to feel it. Imagine this for a moment. You are going about your day, working, resting, breathing, living. Nothing extraordinary is happening on the surface. But beneath that surface, something stirs. Your body responds before your thoughts can catch up. Your breath deepens. Your awareness sharpens. Your heart opens just slightly, enough to feel exposed. And within that opening, there is a sensation that feels familiar. Not familiar like memory, familiar like recognition, as if your body remembers something your mind forgot. This is not the kind of arousal that demands release. It does not feel urgent or compulsive. It feels intentional even when you did not intend it. Feels like being met. And this is where many twin flames pause and ask themselves a question they may never say out loud. How can I feel this when I am alone? The answer is not found in logic. It is found in resonance. Twin flames do not connect only through emotion or history. They connect through a shared energetic field. A field that remains active whether they are together or apart. And sexual energy, when exchanged telepathically, is not random. It is one of the most powerful signals within that field. Because sexual energy is not merely physical desire. It is creative force. It is life current. It is the same energy that births ideas, awakens consciousness, and pulls souls toward evolution. When two beings share the same soul frequency, that energy does not stay contained within the body. It moves. It responds. It recognizes its mirror. And sometimes, often when one twin flame is emotionally open, vulnerable, longing, or awakening, that energy reaches outward seeking balance. Not through words, not through action, but through vibration. You may feel it during moments of stillness, right before sleep, during meditation, or in the quiet seconds after waking, when the mind has not yet built its defenses. It can arrive as warmth, as pressure, as tenderness, as longing without desperation, as closeness without proximity. And when it happens, there is often a deep inner knowing. This is not just me. Yet because this experience does not fit neatly into rational frameworks, many people doubt it. They silence it. They suppress it. They try to ground it away. But what if grounding does not mean denying? What if the body is not malfunctioning but communicating? What if this invisible exchange is not something to fear but something to understand? Twin flame telepathy does not always speak in words. Often it speaks through sensation. And sexual energy, pure, unforced, and unprojected, is one of its clearest languages. This is not about acting on impulse. It is not about chasing union. It is not about using energy to control or demand connection. It is about awareness. Because the moment you become aware of the exchange, everything shifts. Instead of confusion, there is curiosity. Instead of fear, there is reverence. Instead of obsession, there is presence. You begin to realize that intimacy does not always require touch. That connection does not always require communication. And that union does not begin with another person, but with your ability to stay conscious within the experience. This opening moment, the first recognition of telepathic sexual energy, is often the doorway. A doorway into deeper understanding, into spiritual maturity, into self-responsibility, and perhaps most importantly, into the realization that what you are feeling is not meant to pull you outward, but to bring you inward. Because before twin flames unite in form, they unite in energy. And before energy becomes shared consciously, it reveals itself subtly, as a whisper in the body, as a warmth in the heart, as a sensation that says, "You are not imagining this. You are remembering." In the next part, we will begin to uncover what sexual energy truly is, beyond the physical body, and why it plays such a sacred role in the twin flame journey. But for now, sit with this question. What if the most intimate connection you have ever felt did not come from touch, but from resonance? Most people believe sexual energy begins in the body, a sensation, a desire, a physical response triggered by sight, touch, memory, or imagination. But this understanding is incomplete. Sexual energy does not originate in the body. The body is simply where it becomes noticeable. In its true nature, sexual energy is not about sex at all. It is about life. Across ancient traditions, spiritual systems, and modern consciousness studies, sexual energy has always been described as the same force that creates, animates, and expands existence itself. It is the current that moves seeds toward growth, ideas toward form, and souls toward experience. The body does not generate this energy. The body receives it. This is why sexual energy can be felt without physical stimulation, why it can arise in stillness, why it can intensify during meditation, emotional openness, or spiritual awakening, and why, most confusing of all, it can be felt when another person is nowhere near you. To understand how twin flames exchange sexual energy telepathically, we must first step outside the limited definition of sexuality and look at energy itself. Sexual energy is creative life force. It is the same current that fuels inspiration, emotional bonding, intuition, and spiritual awakening. When this energy flows freely, it does not demand release. It seeks expression. Expression does not always mean physical sex. It can mean creativity, emotional vulnerability, deep presence, spiritual insight, heart opening, soul recognition. In the twin flame connection, this energy becomes amplified, not because the desire is stronger, but because the recognition is deeper. Twin flames share a frequency that allows sexual energy to move without obstruction. That is why it feels different. Unlike desire driven by fantasy or lack, twin flame sexual energy feels grounded, intentional, and often sacred. It does not pull you outward into craving. It pulls you inward into awareness. This is a critical distinction. Ordinary desire seeks fulfillment through another person. Sacred sexual energy seeks integration within the self. And yet, because twin flames mirror one another on an energetic level, that inner movement is often felt simultaneously in both individuals. This is where confusion often arises. People ask, why does this feel intimate if no one is touching me? Why does this feel shared if I'm alone? Why does my body respond when my mind is quiet? The answer lies in how sexual energy moves through consciousness. Sexual energy is not linear. It does not require proximity. It does not obey time. It moves through resonance. When two beings share the same soul frequency, as twin flames do, the movement of energy in one naturally affects the other. Not because one is sending something intentionally, but because they are connected through a shared energetic circuit. Think of it like this. If two instruments are tuned to the same frequency, plucking one string causes the other to vibrate, even from across the room. No force, no effort, just resonance. Sexual energy works the same way. When one twin flame becomes emotionally open, vulnerable, activated, or awakened, the sexual life force within them begins to move. That movement sends a signal through the shared field. The other twin flame feels it, not as thought but as sensation. This is why telepathic sexual energy exchange often happens during emotional breakthroughs, inner healing, periods of longing without attachment, spiritual awakening phases, times of physical separation. The energy is not seeking physical contact. It is seeking balance. And balance is achieved through awareness, not action. This is why sexual energy between twin flames often rises toward the heart, rather than remaining focused on physical release. It blends intimacy with tenderness, arousal with emotion, desire with compassion. This blending is not accidental. Sexual energy becomes sacred when it passes through the heart. When desire is separated from awareness, it becomes compulsive. When desire is united with awareness, it becomes transformative. Twin flames experience this transformation more intensely because their connection dissolves the illusion of separation. In that space, sexual energy becomes a language of recognition, a way the soul says, "I see you. I feel you. I remember you," without words, without intent, without control. And yet, this does not mean the energy should be acted upon impulsively. One of the most important truths about sacred sexual energy is this: intensity does not require expression to be meaningful. Just because the energy is present does not mean it demands release. Just because it is shared does not mean it requires physical union. In fact, forcing expression too early often disrupts the very balance the energy is trying to create. Sacred sexual energy is intelligent. It moves where it is needed. It slows when awareness is required. It intensifies to reveal blockages. It softens to invite surrender. For twin flames, this energy often highlights unresolved wounds, abandonment, control, fear of intimacy, loss of self. These wounds surface not to punish but to heal. This is why sexual energy exchange can feel overwhelming at times. It is not just desire rising. It is truth rising. Truth about what you long for. Truth about where you resist. Truth about how deeply you want to be seen by another and by yourself. When this energy is misunderstood, people try to suppress it or chase it. Both responses come from fear. But when it is understood, something remarkable happens. You stop trying to own it. You stop trying to control it. You stop trying to use it as proof. And instead, you allow it to refine you. Sexual energy, when honored, becomes a teacher. Teaches patience. Teaches presence. It teaches self-respect. It teaches you how to hold intensity without collapsing into it. And this is the preparation required for true twin flame union. Because union is not built on chemistry alone. It is built on capacity. The capacity to remain grounded while energy moves. The capacity to feel without grasping. The capacity to love without losing oneself. In the twin flame journey, sexual energy is not the destination. It is the initiator. It awakens the body. It opens the heart. It sharpens awareness. And when allowed to move freely without fear or fixation, it becomes one of the most powerful forces for spiritual integration you will ever experience. In the next part, we will explore how twin flames share a unified energetic field, and why telepathy is not an exception, but a natural consequence of that bond. But for now, consider this. What if sexual energy was never meant to pull you into desire, but to guide you back into wholeness? To understand why sexual energy can move telepathically between twin flames, we must first understand something far more fundamental than attraction, emotion, or even love. We must understand the shared energy field. Twin flames are not two separate souls who happen to resonate deeply with one another. They are two expressions of the same soul consciousness, experiencing itself through two bodies. This is not poetry or metaphor. It is an energetic reality that operates beneath personality, history, and circumstance. This is why the twin flame connection feels so different from any other bond. You do not simply feel close to your twin flame. You feel familiar with them, not because you know their story, not because you understand their behavior, but because your energy recognizes itself in theirs. This recognition does not happen in the mind. It happens in the field. Every human being exists within an energetic field, a subtle but powerful layer of consciousness that surrounds, informs, and animates the physical body. Thoughts, emotions, memories, and sensations all move through this field before they ever reach awareness. For most connections, these fields remain separate. They may touch briefly. They may overlap during intimacy, but they remain fundamentally distinct. Twin flames are different. Their fields are not separate. They are entangled. This shared field is not created by effort, desire, or intention. It exists because the soul itself is not divided. Even when twin flames incarnate into two bodies, the energetic blueprint remains unified. This is why distance does not weaken the connection, why silence does not dissolve it, why separation often intensifies sensation instead of diminishing it. You are not trying to connect. You already are. The shared energy field is the invisible structure through which telepathy occurs. Thoughts, emotions, and sensations move through it naturally, especially when awareness drops into the body and the heart. Sexual energy is particularly sensitive within this field because it carries high creative charge. When this energy moves in one twin flame, it creates ripples throughout the shared system. Those ripples are not translated into words or images. They are translated into feeling. This is why telepathic sexual energy often feels sudden and unmistakable. You are not imagining it. You are receiving it. But receiving does not mean passivity. It means resonance. Imagine two bodies of water connected underground by a hidden current. On the surface, they appear separate. But when the water level shifts in one, the other responds even if nothing visible touches it. This is how the shared energy field works. When one twin flame experiences emotional vulnerability, spiritual opening, longing, or inner activation, their sexual life force begins to move. That movement does not stay contained within their body. It travels through the shared field and registers in the other twin flame's nervous system. Not as a thought, not as a command, but as sensation. This is why one twin flame may feel arousal, warmth, closeness, or emotional intimacy at a moment that seems disconnected from their own circumstances. It is not disconnected. It is synchronized. Telepathy within the twin flame field is not something that turns on and off at will. It becomes more noticeable during moments when the ego relaxes and the body becomes receptive. This often happens during sleep or the hypnagogic state, in meditation or deep stillness, when emotional defenses soften, during moments of surrender or acceptance, when one twin flame is undergoing inner transformation. At these times, the shared field becomes more active because resistance drops. And when resistance drops, energy flows. Sexual energy is not separate from emotional or spiritual energy in this field. It is woven into it. That is why twin flame telepathic intimacy often feels emotional, tender, and expansive, not purely physical. The body may respond, but the heart is involved. This is one of the most important distinctions between twin flame sexual energy and ordinary desire. Ordinary desire seeks fulfillment. Twin flame sexual energy seeks coherence. It wants alignment between body, heart, and soul. And because the shared field reflects both individuals simultaneously, anything out of alignment becomes immediately visible through sensation. This is why the exchange can feel intense, even overwhelming. It is not just pleasure rising. It is awareness. Awareness of wounds. Awareness of longing. Awareness of fear. Awareness of love. Many twin flames experience confusion at this stage because they try to interpret energetic communication through the lens of physical relationship logic. They ask, does this mean they want me right now? Does this mean we should be together? Does this mean something is about to happen? But the shared energy field does not operate on linear timelines or external outcomes. It operates on inner truth. What is moving through the field is not a demand. It is information. Information about readiness. Information about resistance. Information about where healing is occurring or where it is still needed. When sexual energy rises telepathically, it often highlights the areas where one or both twin flames are still holding back emotionally. Fear of intimacy. Fear of loss. Fear of surrender. Fear of being seen. The energy does not judge these fears. It reveals them. This is why grounding is essential. Without grounding, the intensity of the shared field can pull one or both individuals into obsession, fantasy, or emotional dependency. But with grounding, the same energy becomes stabilizing, clarifying, and deeply empowering. Grounding does not shut down the connection. It allows it to mature. As awareness increases, twin flames begin to notice patterns. They may realize that telepathic sexual energy intensifies when one of them is avoiding their truth, or when one is awakening while the other is resisting, or when physical separation is creating emotional pressure that needs to be integrated internally. The shared field acts as a feedback system. It does not punish. It does not manipulate. It mirrors. And mirroring is how growth happens. Over time, many twin flames discover that the most powerful moments of telepathic intimacy occur not during longing, but during acceptance. When you stop trying to reach the other, when you stop needing confirmation, when you stop asking the energy to mean something, that is when it becomes clearest. Because the shared field responds to presence, not pursuit. Sexual energy in this context becomes a sacred signal, not of lack but of unity. It reminds you that connection is not something you create. It is something you remember. And this remembrance does not pull you away from yourself, brings you back. In the next part, we will explore how telepathic sexual energy exchange actually happens, what triggers it, how it moves, and why it often occurs without conscious intention. But before moving forward, reflect on this. What if the strongest connection you feel with your twin flame is not asking you to chase them, but to become fully present within yourself? Because the shared energy field does not collapse distance by force. It dissolves separation through awareness. By now, one truth should be clear. Telepathic sexual energy exchange between twin flames does not happen because someone tries to make it happen. It happens because the conditions allow it. This is one of the most important distinctions to understand. Telepathic sexual energy is not sent deliberately like a message. It is not projected through imagination. It is not controlled by desire. It arises naturally when awareness, vulnerability, and resonance align within the shared energy field. To understand how this exchange actually happens, we must look at what drops away first. It begins when the mind loosens its grip. Most of the time, the thinking mind acts as a filter. It organizes, labels, suppresses, and interprets experience. This is useful for survival, but it blocks subtle perception. Telepathic energy does not pass through logic. It moves through sensation. When the mind quiets, even briefly, the body becomes receptive. This is why telepathic sexual energy often emerges during moments such as deep relaxation, meditation, emotional honesty, physical stillness, transitions between waking and sleep. In these states, awareness shifts from thinking to feeling, and feeling is the gateway. Sexual energy is already present within the body as latent creative force. It does not need stimulation to exist. What changes is whether it is allowed to move. When one twin flame becomes emotionally open, perhaps without even realizing it, their inner defenses soften. The heart relaxes. The nervous system shifts out of control mode. At that moment, sexual life force begins to circulate more freely. This circulation creates a subtle energetic signal. Not a signal with words, not an image, but a frequency change. Because twin flames share an energetic field, that frequency change does not stay localized. It moves through the shared system and reaches the other twin flame's body. This is the key point. Telepathy happens at the level of the nervous system, not the imagination. The receiving twin flame does not think the energy into existence. They sense it. The body responds first. A warmth spreads. Breathing changes. The chest opens. Awareness sharpens. A feeling of closeness appears without cause. Only afterward does the mind try to explain it. This is why so many people doubt the experience. The sequence is backwards from what logic expects. We are used to thought leading sensation. Here, sensation leads thought. Another important factor is intention, or rather, the lack of it. Telepathic sexual energy exchange is strongest when there is no agenda. When one twin flame is not trying to attract, seduce, or pull the other. When there is no effort to make something happen. The moment intention turns into control, the energy tightens. It becomes distorted by ego and expectation. But when intention dissolves into presence, energy flows cleanly. This is why telepathic sexual energy often appears unexpectedly. It might happen when you are focused on your own healing, when you are not thinking about your twin flame at all, when you have emotionally surrendered the outcome. when you have stopped waiting for contact. Paradoxically, letting go strengthens the exchange, because letting go removes resistance. Resistance is not always obvious. It can be subtle, trying to define the connection, trying to predict outcomes, trying to assign meaning too quickly, trying to control timing. Each of these creates tension in the energy field. Telepathic exchange requires coherence, not tension. Another element involved is emotional congruence. When sexual energy rises telepathically, it is often paired with a matching emotional tone. Not necessarily the same emotion, but the same depth. For example, one twin flame may feel vulnerability, the other tenderness. One may feel longing, the other calm closeness. One may feel awakening, the other grounding. The emotions complement each other, creating balance within the shared field. This is why the experience often feels intimate rather than overwhelming. Even when the sensations are strong, there is usually an undercurrent of safety. When that safety is absent, it is often a sign that ego has entered the process. Ego tries to interpret sensation as demand. Does this mean they want me now? Does this mean I should act? Does this mean something is missing? But telepathic sexual energy does not speak in commands. Speaks in movement. Movement toward awareness. Movement toward truth. Movement toward integration. The energy itself is neutral. How it feels depends on how it is met. If it is met with fear, it becomes anxiety. If it is met with craving, it becomes obsession. If it is met with presence, it becomes clarity. This is why two twin flames can experience the same exchange very differently. One may feel grounded and calm. The other may feel unsettled and restless. The difference is not the energy, it is the relationship to it. Another critical point. Telepathic sexual energy exchange does not require both twin flames to be consciously aware of it at the same time. One may be highly aware of the sensations. The other may only feel emotional shifts, dreams, or sudden thoughts. Awareness levels differ depending on nervous system sensitivity, spiritual maturity, and emotional openness. This does not mean the exchange is one-sided. It means perception is uneven. Just as one person can hear a frequency more clearly than another, one twin flame may sense the energy more vividly. Over time, as awareness grows, perception tends to synchronize. The body learns the language. The sensations become familiar, recognizable, and less destabilizing. This is when something important happens. The energy stops feeling intrusive. It begins to feel supportive. Instead of pulling attention outward, it stabilizes presence inward. Instead of creating urgency, it creates depth. At this stage, many twin flames realize that telepathic sexual energy exchange is not about pleasure alone. It is about regulation. The shared field helps regulate emotional extremes. When one twin flame is overwhelmed, the other often feels called into grounding. When one is disconnected, the other may feel activation. The system seeks equilibrium. This is why forcing the connection never works. It disrupts regulation. True telepathic exchange is effortless because it is intelligent. It knows when to rise. It knows when to soften. It knows when to pause. The more you trust this intelligence, the less confusing the experience becomes. You stop asking, "Why is this happening?" and begin asking, "How am I meeting it?" Because how you meet the energy determines what it becomes. If you meet it with presence, it becomes clarity. If you meet it with compassion, it becomes healing. If you meet it with awareness, it becomes union within yourself. In the next part, we will explore the specific signs that indicate you are experiencing telepathic sexual energy exchange with your twin flame. How to recognize it clearly without falling into fantasy or projection. But before moving on, consider this. What if nothing is being done to you? What if something is being revealed through you? Because telepathic sexual energy is not an invasion. It is an invitation to become conscious of what is already flowing. One of the most difficult aspects of telepathic sexual energy exchange is not the experience itself, it is recognizing it accurately. Because these sensations arise without physical contact, without conscious intention, and often without emotional context, the mind immediately looks for explanations. And when the mind cannot find a familiar cause, it tends to dismiss the experience altogether, or misinterpret it. This is why understanding the signs matters. Not to prove anything, not to convince yourself of a connection, but to ground the experience in awareness rather than fantasy. Telepathic sexual energy between twin flames does not announce itself loudly. It reveals itself through subtle, consistent patterns that carry a very specific quality. Let us explore these signs, not as a checklist, but as markers of resonance. 1. Sudden arousal without fantasy or trigger. This is often the first sign people notice, and also the one most commonly misunderstood. You may experience a rise in sexual energy without sexual thoughts, visual imagery, memory recall, physical stimulation. The sensation appears fully formed, already present, before the mind has time to interpret it. What makes this different from ordinary arousal is its neutral clarity. There is no urgency, no compulsion, no hunger to act. Instead, there is awareness. The body is activated, but the mind is quiet. The energy feels clean, focused, and strangely calm. Many twin flames describe this as being turned on without wanting anything. That paradox is important, because telepathic sexual energy is not seeking release. It is seeking connection, not with another body but with consciousness. 2. A deep sense of emotional closeness appearing out of nowhere. Another strong indicator is the sudden arrival of emotional intimacy. You may feel tenderness, affection, openness, emotional warmth, and yet nothing in your external environment explains it. You are not thinking about your twin flame. You are not missing them. You are not remembering a shared moment. The closeness simply arrives. This emotional tone often accompanies sexual energy telepathy because, in the twin flame connection, sexual energy naturally passes through the heart. It does not feel sexual in isolation. Feels intimate. This is how you can distinguish it from ego-driven desire. Ego-driven desire is restless. Telepathic intimacy is still. 3 sensations that feel like being touched energetically. Some twin flames report sensations that feel almost physical, but are clearly not. These may include gentle pressure on the skin, warmth across the chest or lower abdomen, tingling along the spine, a feeling of being held or enveloped. What distinguishes these sensations from imagination is their consistency. They often occur in similar states, during meditation, while lying down, in moments of emotional openness, during deep relaxation, and they stop when attention shifts. You cannot force them. You cannot extend them. You cannot recreate them through fantasy. They arise and dissolve on their own. This autonomy is one of the clearest markers of telepathic energy exchange. 4. Heightened sensations during sleep, dreams, or the moments before waking. The boundary between conscious and subconscious awareness is especially thin during sleep. This is why many twin flames experience telepathic sexual energy in dreams, just before falling asleep, just after waking. These experiences often feel vivid but not chaotic. There is clarity without narrative, sensation without story. You may wake up feeling emotionally connected, energized, or calm, without remembering a specific dream. Or you may remember a dream that feels symbolic rather than literal. The focus is not on action but on presence. These experiences often leave a lingering sense of intimacy rather than excitement. That aftertaste matters. 5. The inner knowing that the experience is shared. Perhaps the most subtle and most important sign is the absence of doubt. Not certainty, not proof, but knowing. This knowing does not come from logic. Comes from resonance. There is a quiet sense that the experience did not originate solely within you. You may think, this doesn't feel private. This feels mutual. This feels acknowledged somewhere else. And yet there is no anxiety attached to this knowing. You are not checking. You are not hoping. You are not seeking confirmation. The knowing exists without demand. This is how intuition speaks when it is not filtered through fear. 6. The experience happens when you are focused on yourself. One of the clearest indicators that the energy is telepathic, not imagined, is when it occurs. Telepathic sexual energy often arises when you are healing, you are grounded, you are emotionally honest, you are not seeking connection. This contradicts ego expectations. If the experience were driven by desire or fantasy, it would intensify when you focus on your twin flame. Instead, it often appears when you are fully present with yourself. This suggests that the energy is responding to alignment, not longing. 7. The sensation fades when you try to analyze or control it. Another important sign is how quickly the experience dissolves when the mind steps in. The moment you try to define it, label it, capture it, repeat it, the energy softens or disappears. This does not mean it was imaginary. It means it was subtle. Telepathic energy does not tolerate control. It exists only in presence. This quality separates authentic energetic exchange from fantasy projection. Fantasy thrives on repetition and amplification. Telepathic energy resists both. 8. Emotional or energetic shifts that coincide with no external change. Sometimes the sign is not sexual sensation itself, but a shift that accompanies it. You may notice sudden calm after emotional tension, clarity after confusion, grounding after restlessness. These shifts feel supportive, not disruptive. They often follow periods of emotional work or inner surrender. This suggests the shared field is regulating itself, using sexual life force as a balancing mechanism. 9. The experience does not create dependency. Perhaps the most important sign of all is what the experience does not do. It does not make you anxious, needy, obsessive, disconnected from yourself. If it does, ego has entered the process. True telepathic sexual energy exchange increases self-awareness. It does not replace it. You feel more centered afterward, not less. 10. You feel more whole, not more incomplete. This is the final confirmation. After the experience passes, ask yourself one question. Do I feel more grounded within myself, or more restless? If the answer is grounded, the energy was serving integration. Telepathic sexual energy between twin flames is not meant to create longing. It is meant to dissolve separation internally. It reminds you that connection does not require possession, that intimacy does not require proximity, that union begins within. In the next part, we will look at real-life illustrative scenarios, how these signs appear in everyday situations, and how to remain balanced when they do. But for now, sit with this reflection. What if the most intimate experiences of your life are not meant to pull you toward another, but to anchor you more deeply within yourself? Because when energy is shared through awareness, it does not fragment you. It returns you to wholeness. Understanding telepathic sexual energy exchange becomes much easier when we move out of theory and into lived experience. Not dramatic stories, not fantasy, but ordinary moments, the kind that happen quietly, without witnesses, without intention, and without explanation. These scenarios are not meant to convince you of anything. They are meant to help you recognize patterns, the subtle ways this energy appears in real life, and how it behaves when it is authentic rather than imagined. Scenario 1. The surge during emotional vulnerability. Imagine this. One twin flame is going through an emotionally difficult day. Nothing catastrophic, just the slow weight of unresolved feelings surfacing. Perhaps they feel unseen, uncertain, or quietly overwhelmed. They do not reach out. They do not express it outwardly. They simply feel. At some point, the resistance softens. They stop trying to be strong. They stop distracting themselves. They allow the emotion to exist. In that moment of inner honesty, sexual life force begins to move, not as desire but as aliveness. A warmth rises. A sense of openness spreads. There is no thought attached to it. At the same time, often unknowingly, the other twin flame experiences something unusual. They may feel a sudden sense of closeness, emotional tenderness without context, a subtle physical warmth or activation, a feeling of being pulled inward. Nothing in their environment explains it. They might pause and think, "That's strange." But the feeling does not demand interpretation. Simply exists. What is happening here is not communication in the conventional sense. It is co-regulation. The shared energy field is responding to vulnerability by redistributing life force, bringing balance to the system. This is one of the clearest examples of telepathic sexual energy serving a healing function rather than a romantic or physical one. Scenario 2. Intensification during physical separation. Many twin flames notice that telepathic sexual energy becomes stronger, not weaker, during periods of physical distance. This can feel counterintuitive. Logic suggests that separation should dull connection, but energetically, separation often removes distraction. When two twin flames are not interacting externally, the shared field has fewer outlets. Energy that would normally express itself through conversation, touch, or presence begins to move inward. In this scenario, both individuals may be living their lives separately, different routines, different locations, different emotional focuses. And yet, one evening, without warning, one twin flame feels a sudden wave of intimacy. Not longing, not sadness, but closeness. They may feel emotionally held, calm, a sense of being accompanied. Meanwhile, the other twin flame, perhaps at a completely different time zone, experiences a rise in awareness, clarity, or creative energy. Neither connects the dots immediately. Only later, sometimes days later, does recognition arise. Not as proof, as recognition. This scenario highlights an important truth. Telepathic sexual energy does not require synchronization and clock time. It operates in energetic time. What matters is not when it happens, but why. Scenario 3: Similar sensations or dreams without prior contact. Another common scenario involves parallel experiences. One twin flame has a dream that feels unusually vivid. Not dramatic, not symbolic in a complex way, but emotionally clear. There is presence, closeness, and a sense of shared awareness. They wake up feeling grounded, not aroused. Connected, not restless. Days later, or sometimes the same day, the other twin flame mentions having felt something similar. Not the same dream, not the same images, but the same tone. This is important. Telepathic sexual energy does not replicate details. It replicates state. The mind often expects symmetry. The same dream, the same thought, the same sensation. But energy mirrors quality, not content. This is why twin flames often report similar emotional states arising independently. Parallel moments of openness or clarity. Matching sensations with different interpretations. The shared field does not copy experiences. It harmonizes them. Scenario 4: Activation during personal growth or healing. One of the most misunderstood scenarios occurs when telepathic sexual energy intensifies during periods of personal growth. One twin flame begins therapy, deep reflection, or spiritual practice. They are not focused on the connection. They are focused on themselves. As they release old patterns, control, fear, self-rejection, their nervous system relaxes. Energy that was once locked in defense begins to move freely. Sexual life force, being highly sensitive to openness, responds. At the same time, the other twin flame may feel an unexplained shift. Increased emotional sensitivity. Moments of stillness or reflection. A softening of internal resistance. They may not feel sexual energy directly. They may feel peace. This scenario often confuses people because it contradicts the idea that sexual energy is about desire. Here, sexual energy is functioning as integration energy. It is marking a moment of alignment within the shared field. Scenario 5. The energy appears, then withdraws. Another realistic scenario involves the sudden appearance and disappearance of telepathic sexual energy. One twin flame feels a clear wave of sensation. It is unmistakable, present, calm, intimate. Then just as suddenly it fades. No climax, no resolution, no continuation. This is not failure. It is completion. Telepathic sexual energy often moves in pulses. It arrives to deliver information or balance, then withdraws when its function is complete. Trying to hold on to it usually prevents it from returning naturally. This scenario teaches a crucial lesson. Not all intensity is meant to be sustained. Some experiences are meant to be received, not extended. Scenario 6. One twin flame feels it more strongly. In many real-life cases, one twin flame experiences the energy more vividly than the other. This imbalance can create doubt. Why do I feel this so strongly? Why don't they seem to notice? But awareness is not evenly distributed. Sensitivity depends on nervous system openness, emotional maturity, current life circumstances, spiritual awareness. The shared field does not require equal perception to function. Just as one person may hear a subtle sound that another misses, one twin flame may feel the energy more clearly. This does not make the experience one-sided. It makes it asymmetrical. And asymmetry does not negate authenticity. Scenario 7. The energy clarifies rather than confuses. Perhaps the most telling real-life indicator is the aftereffect. After a genuine telepathic sexual energy exchange, most twin flames report increased clarity, emotional grounding, reduced anxiety, less compulsion to act. If the experience creates urgency, obsession, or desperation, it has likely been filtered through ego. Authentic energy exchange leaves you more present, not less. The common thread in all scenarios. Across all these situations, one pattern remains consistent. Telepathic sexual energy does not demand action. It does not instruct. It does not manipulate. It does not pressure. It informs. It brings awareness to where alignment exists and where it is still forming. And most importantly, it redirects attention inward. These experiences are not invitations to chase union externally. They are invitations to deepen union internally. In the next part, we will explore the sacred purpose behind this exchange, why it exists at all, and how it serves awakening rather than attachment. But for now, consider this. What if the quiet moments, the ones with no explanation, are not distractions from your path, but confirmations that you are walking it consciously? By this point, you may be asking the most important question of all. Why does this happen? Why would sexual energy, so powerful, so intimate, so deeply felt, be exchanged telepathically between twin flames? Is it simply attraction amplified? Is it longing stretched across distance? Is it cosmic romance? Or is it something far more profound? To understand the sacred purpose behind this exchange, we must move beyond the idea that sexual energy exists solely for pleasure or physical union. Because in the twin flame journey, sexual energy is not primarily about bodies meeting. It is about consciousness awakening. Sexual energy as awakening force. Sexual energy is the most creative force within the human system. It is the energy that creates life. But it also creates identity, passion, vision, and transformation. When this energy rises telepathically between twin flames, it is not random. It is activating dormant parts of the psyche and the soul. Think about what happens when telepathic sexual energy appears. Your body becomes alert. Your awareness sharpens. Your heart opens. Your mind quiets. You are suddenly present. This presence is not accidental. Sexual energy, when purified of fantasy and ego, has the power to pull awareness fully into the now. It strips away distraction. It dissolves numbness. It exposes truth. And truth is the beginning of awakening. It activates the heart, not just the body. In ordinary attraction, sexual energy often stays concentrated in the lower centers of the body. It seeks stimulation, release, gratification. In the twin flame connection, something different occurs. The energy rises. It moves from the lower body into the heart. This is why telepathic sexual energy often feels tender rather than aggressive, intimate rather than urgent, expansive rather than consuming. You may feel warmth in the chest, emotional vulnerability, compassion mixed with desire, longing that feels sacred, not desperate. This is the merging of sexuality and love. And when sexuality merges with love, it becomes transformational. The sacred purpose of this exchange is to teach you that desire does not have to dominate. It can elevate. It can move upward. It can refine. Can purify. Instead of pulling you outward into pursuit, it invites you inward into integration. It dissolves ego illusions. One of the most powerful functions of telepathic sexual energy is that it exposes ego patterns. Ego tries to own energy. It asks, does this mean they want me? Does this mean I should act? Does this mean we are meant to reunite now? But sacred energy does not belong to ego. It belongs to the soul. When telepathic sexual energy arises, it reveals where ego still clings. Fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, desire for control, need for validation. The energy magnifies these patterns, not to punish you, but to make them visible. You cannot heal what you cannot see. The sacred exchange forces awareness. It asks you, can you feel intensity without grasping? Can you experience desire without collapsing into it? Can you allow connection without trying to define it? This is spiritual maturity, and maturity is required for true union. It teaches energetic responsibility. Another sacred purpose behind this exchange is responsibility. When you realize that energy moves beyond physical interaction, you begin to understand that intimacy is not confined to the physical realm. Your thoughts matter. Your emotional state matters. Your awareness matters. You begin to recognize that when you are grounded, the shared field stabilizes. When you are chaotic, the field destabilizes. This awareness shifts your focus from, what are they doing? To, how am I holding myself? You stop trying to manipulate outcomes. You start refining your internal state. Sexual energy becomes less about receiving something from another and more about stewarding something within yourself. That shift changes everything. It accelerates inner union. Many twin flames believe physical reunion is the ultimate goal. But the deeper truth is this: the external union can only mirror the internal union. Telepathic sexual energy is one of the fastest ways to reveal whether internal union is forming. If the energy destabilizes you, inner union is incomplete. If the energy strengthens your grounding, inner union is forming. Because inner union means you can experience connection without losing yourself. It means you can feel desire without abandoning self-respect. It means you can hold intensity without demanding resolution. The sacred exchange acts as training. It builds capacity, and capacity determines readiness. It transmutes separation into conscious growth. During physical separation, many twin flames experience heightened telepathic sexual energy. Why? Because separation forces inward movement. Without physical closeness, the only place the energy can go is inside. This internalization creates transformation. Longing becomes creativity. Desire becomes clarity. Intensity becomes self-knowledge. Instead of collapsing into loneliness, the sacred exchange provides fuel. Fuel for artistic expression, spiritual insight, emotional integration, nervous system expansion. You begin to realize that the energy was never meant to make you incomplete. It was meant to awaken your fullness. It reminds you that union is energetic first. Before bodies reunite, fields synchronize. Before conversations happen, energy aligns. Before commitment forms, consciousness integrates. The sacred purpose of telepathic sexual exchange is to align you energetically long before external circumstances shift. It teaches you to trust what cannot be seen, to honor what cannot be proven, to recognize that the deepest forms of intimacy are invisible. This is why the experience feels holy rather than purely sensual. It carries reverence, because something greater than personality is moving. It awakens divine masculine and divine feminine balance. Within every individual, regardless of gender, there exists both receptive and active energies. Telepathic sexual exchange often activates imbalances between these forces. If you tend to over-pursue, the energy may teach you receptivity. If you tend to withdraw, the energy may awaken longing. If you suppress desire, the energy may bring it gently into awareness. The sacred purpose is balance. Not dominance, not submission, but harmony. True union cannot exist when one pole overwhelms the other. Sexual energy becomes the bridge that teaches both surrender and strength. It purifies attachment. This may be the most difficult truth of all. Sacred sexual energy will eventually confront attachment. If you cling to the experience, it fades. If you try to force it, it distorts. If you obsess over it, it destabilizes. The only way it remains clear is through surrender. Surrender does not mean giving up on connection. It means releasing control over how it unfolds. When you can experience telepathic intimacy without needing to act on it, you transcend attachment. And transcendence is liberation. The deeper message. At its core, the sacred exchange of sexual energy between twin flames exists for one reason: to remind you that you are not separate from the love you seek. The energy moves not to complete you, but to reveal you. It exposes where you still divide yourself. It highlights where you still abandon yourself. And it invites you to reclaim those parts. When you stop seeing sexual energy as something to consume or possess, It transforms into something luminous. It becomes devotion. It becomes clarity. It becomes awakening. In the next part, we will explore common misunderstandings and ego traps, because even sacred energy can become distorted when filtered through fear. But before moving forward, sit quietly with this reflection. What if this exchange is not trying to bring you closer to another person, but closer to your own wholeness? Because the most sacred union does not begin when two bodies meet. It begins when one soul stops running from itself. Whenever something powerful enters human awareness, ego rushes in to interpret it. And telepathic sexual energy between twin flames is no exception. Because this energy feels intimate, intense, and deeply personal, it is especially vulnerable to distortion. The experience itself may be sacred, but the interpretation of it can easily become reactive, obsessive, or ego-driven. Understanding these misunderstandings is not about dismissing the connection. It is about protecting it. Misunderstanding 1. If I feel it, they must want me. One of the most common traps is equating energetic exchange with conscious desire. You feel a wave of sexual energy. You feel closeness. You feel activation. And immediately the mind translates, they must be thinking about me. They must want me right now. This means reunion is close. But telepathic sexual energy does not always indicate conscious thought or intentional longing. Remember what we established earlier. Energy moves through the shared field in response to openness, vulnerability, healing, and alignment, not necessarily romantic intention. Your twin flame may not even be aware that the energy moved. They may simply be going through an emotional shift that activated life force within the field. The ego wants confirmation. The soul seeks coherence. Confusing these two creates unnecessary suffering. Misunderstanding 2. Using the experience as proof. Another subtle trap is treating telepathic sexual energy as evidence. Evidence that the connection is real. Reunion is inevitable. You are spiritually chosen. The bond is superior to other relationships. But sacred energy is not meant to validate identity. It is meant to refine awareness. When you begin using energetic experiences as proof, you move from presence into attachment. You may start monitoring sensations. Do I feel it today? Has it stopped? Does this mean something changed? Monitoring collapses the natural flow. Sacred energy withdraws when it is scrutinized. Not because it is punishing you, but because control disrupts resonance. Misunderstanding 3. Confusing obsession with telepathy. This is one of the most important distinctions to make. Obsession originates in the mind. Telepathy originates in the nervous system. Obsession is repetitive, intrusive, and fueled by anxiety. Telepathic energy is spontaneous, neutral, and grounded. If the experience creates panic, desperation, constant rumination, inability to focus, emotional instability, it is likely ego attachment, not sacred exchange. True telepathic sexual energy does not destabilize your life. It may activate you, but it does not consume you. If it feels consuming, there is unresolved emotional material being triggered. And that material requires inner work, not external action. Misunderstanding 4. Acting on every surge of energy. Because sexual energy feels intense, some twin flames assume it must be expressed. They may feel compelled to reach out impulsively, send suggestive messages, initiate contact without grounding, interpret the energy as a call to physical reunion. But sacred energy does not always require physical expression. In fact, one of its primary purposes is to teach containment. Containment is not suppression. It is conscious holding. When you can feel intensity without immediately acting on it, you build nervous system resilience. And resilience is essential for healthy union. If every energetic shift triggers external action, the relationship becomes reactive rather than conscious. The energy is meant to awaken awareness, not override discernment. Misunderstanding 5. Romanticizing every sensation. The twin flame journey already carries mythic symbolism. Add telepathic sexual energy into the mix, and it becomes easy to romanticize every subtle experience. You may start attributing ordinary sensations to the connection. Every mood shift becomes a sign. Every dream becomes a message. Every memory becomes confirmation. But discernment is sacred too. Not every sensation is telepathic. The body has its own rhythms. Hormones fluctuate. Emotions move independently. If you label everything as energetic exchange, you blur the boundary between intuition and imagination. Sacred connection requires clarity. Romanticizing too much erodes clarity. Misunderstanding 6. Believing the energy guarantees reunion. Perhaps the most emotionally loaded trap is assuming that telepathic sexual energy guarantees physical reunion. It does not. Energetic union and physical union are related, but not identical. The shared field may be active, even when life circumstances prevent external togetherness. If you cling to the energy as a promise of outcome, disappointment may follow. Sacred energy is not predictive. It is reflective. It mirrors where alignment exists now, not what must happen later. Misunderstanding 7. Ignoring personal boundaries. Because the connection feels shared, some individuals unconsciously blur personal boundaries. They may feel responsible for the other twin flame's emotional state. They may believe they can send sexual energy intentionally to influence the connection. But telepathic exchange is not manipulation. Attempting to project energy with the goal of controlling the other disrupts the sacred balance. Energetic boundaries are essential. You are responsible for your state. They are responsible for theirs. The shared field harmonizes naturally when both individuals respect autonomy. Misunderstanding 8. Rejecting the experience out of fear. On the opposite side of obsession lies denial. Some twin flames dismiss telepathic sexual energy entirely because it feels too vulnerable. They may think, "This can't be real. I'm imagining it. I need to shut this down." Fear of losing control can lead to emotional shutdown. But suppression does not create safety. It creates stagnation. The key is not to amplify the energy or to reject it. The key is to observe it. When you observe without judgment, the energy reveals its purpose. The ego's central illusion. At the root of all misunderstandings lies one illusion: that the energy belongs to you or to them. It does not. It belongs to the field. The moment you try to possess it, it distorts. The moment you surrender to it, it clarifies. Sacred sexual energy between twin flames is not about ownership. It is about alignment. How to avoid the traps. Avoiding ego traps does not require suppression. It requires grounding. When you feel telepathic sexual energy, 1. Pause. 2. Breathe. 3. Notice without interpreting. 4. Stay in your body. 5. Resist the urge to act immediately. Ask yourself, is this bringing me closer to myself or pulling me away? If it grounds you, allow it. If it destabilizes you, explore what within you feels triggered. The energy itself is neutral. Your relationship to it defines its impact. The higher perspective. The sacred exchange exists to elevate consciousness, not entangle it. It teaches discernment. It teaches emotional maturity. It teaches sovereignty. The more you mature, the less dramatic the experience becomes. Not because it weakens, but because you strengthen. You stop chasing intensity. You start embodying balance. In the next part, we will explore how to consciously honor and integrate this energy, so it becomes a source of empowerment rather than confusion. But for now, reflect on this. Are you using the energy to escape your inner work, or to deepen it? Because sacred connection does not remove ego. It reveals it. And what you choose to do with that revelation determines everything. By now, you understand something essential. Telepathic sexual energy between twin flames is not random. It is not fantasy. It is not meant to control you. It is intelligent. And like any powerful current, it can either destabilize you or refine you, depending on how you hold it. This is where conscious integration becomes crucial, because sacred energy is not meant to be chased, suppressed, dramatized, or denied. It is meant to be honored. Step 1. Stay in the body. The first and most important principle of integration is simple. Stay in your body. When telepathic sexual energy rises, the mind wants to interpret it. The ego wants to attach meaning. The emotional system may want to react. Instead of following those impulses, return to sensation. Notice your breath, your heartbeat, the temperature of your skin, the pressure in your chest, the subtle movement in your abdomen. Do not label it as theirs or mine. Just feel. The moment you anchor into the body, the energy stabilizes. Telepathic exchange becomes destabilizing only when awareness leaves the present moment. Grounding transforms intensity into clarity. Step 2. Allow without acting. One of the most transformative practices is learning to allow energy without external action. This can feel counterintuitive. When sexual energy rises, the instinct is to express it. But expression does not always mean communication or physical release. Expression can be breath work, movement, writing, creative work, silent presence. When you allow energy to circulate without immediate discharge, something remarkable happens. It rises. Instead of remaining in the lower body, it moves upward into the heart, the throat, and even the mind. This is transmutation. Sexual energy is raw creative force. When held consciously, it becomes inspiration, clarity, emotional insight, spiritual awareness. If you release it impulsively, the cycle ends. If you hold it consciously, the cycle transforms you. Step 3. Separate sensation from story. Integration requires discernment. The sensation is real. The story is optional. The mind will try to create narratives. They must be thinking of me. This means reunion is close. This means they miss me. Instead of following those stories, gently ask, what is this energy teaching me right now? Often, the answer has nothing to do with the other person. It may be teaching you patience, containment, trust, emotional self-regulation, surrender. Sacred energy becomes distorted when story overtakes awareness. Keep the experience clean. Feel first. Interpret later, if at all. Step 4. Strengthen inner union. Telepathic sexual energy is most harmonious when inner union is strong. Inner union means your masculine and feminine energies within you are balanced. You can feel desire without losing grounding, experience emotion without collapsing, hold intensity without panic, stay open without attachment. If telepathic exchange destabilizes you, it reveals where inner union needs strengthening. Instead of blaming the connection, work inward. Practices that strengthen inner union include meditation, nervous system regulation, shadow work, self-forgiveness, self-trust building. The more integrated you are internally, the more stable the shared field becomes. Remember, the external connection mirrors the internal structure. Step 5. Use the energy creatively. Sexual energy is creative energy. If it rises and you do nothing with it, it can feel overwhelming. Channel it. Write. Create music. Paint. Exercise. Build something. Solve a problem. Many twin flames notice that during telepathic sexual activation, creativity spikes. Ideas flow. Solutions appear. Motivation increases. This is not coincidence. The life force moving through the shared field wants expression. When you channel it consciously, it strengthens your life, not just your connection. Step 6. Practice emotional sovereignty. One of the most important aspects of integration is sovereignty. You are not responsible for regulating your twin flame. You are not required to respond to every energetic shift. You are responsible for your own alignment. If you feel energy rise, ask, am I grounded? Am I centered? Am I acting from clarity? Sovereignty prevents dependency. Sacred energy thrives in autonomy, not attachment. Step 7. Normalize the experience. The more dramatic you make the exchange, the more unstable it becomes. Normalize it. See it as a natural part of the shared field, not a mystical anomaly that requires constant analysis. The more calm your response, the more consistent the energy becomes. When you react dramatically, the nervous system tightens. When you respond calmly, the nervous system expands. Sacred connection flourishes in calm awareness. Step 8. Let the energy come and go. Telepathic sexual energy moves in waves. It will not always be present. It may intensify during growth. It may soften during integration. It may disappear during grounding phases. Do not chase its return. When you chase, you create tension. When you trust, you create flow. The absence of sensation does not mean the connection is gone. It means the field is stabilizing. Step 9. Anchor into self-love. At its core, telepathic sexual energy invites self-recognition. It mirrors your capacity to feel deeply. It reveals your openness. It highlights your sensitivity. Instead of asking what it means for the relationship, ask what it reveals about you. Does it show you your capacity for intimacy? Your fear of vulnerability? Your strength in containment? Every surge is information, and the most sacred integration happens when you turn that information inward. Step 10. Remember the true purpose. The ultimate purpose of integration is not reunion. It is wholeness. When you can feel telepathic intimacy and remain grounded, clear, emotionally sovereign, spiritually centered, you have matured beyond reactive connection. You have stepped into conscious union within yourself. And paradoxically, that is when external union becomes possible, if it aligns with both paths. The shift that changes everything. There is a moment in the twin flame journey when telepathic sexual energy stops feeling overwhelming. It begins to feel natural. You no longer question it. You no longer dramatize it. You simply feel it like a background current. And you stay anchored in yourself. That is integration. Not suppression. Not obsession. Not denial. Integration. In the final part, we will bring everything together, reframing sexual energy not as temptation, not as distraction, but as a sacred bridge to soul union. But before moving forward, sit with this question. If you could experience intense connection without losing your center, would you still fear the energy? Or would you trust it as part of your evolution? We began this journey with a question. What if intimacy could travel without touch? Now we arrive at something even deeper. What if the sacred exchange of sexual energy between twin flames was never about sex at all, but about awakening? Throughout this exploration, we have peeled back the layers. We moved beyond fantasy, beyond obsession, beyond projection. We discovered that sexual energy is creative life force, that twin flames share a unified energetic field, that telepathic exchange happens through resonance, not intention, that the experience has purpose, not for possession but for integration. Now we stand at the final realization. The energy is not trying to bring you closer to another person. It is trying to bring you closer to yourself. The hidden truth about sacred exchange. When telepathic sexual energy rises between twin flames, it does something profound. It dissolves the illusion of separation. For a brief moment you feel connected, recognized, alive, awakened. But if you look closely, you will notice something extraordinary. The experience happens within you. The warmth, the intimacy, the expansion, the clarity, all of it is occurring in your body, in your nervous system, in your heart. The shared field may activate it, but you are the one holding it. And that is the sacred shift. You are not incomplete without the other. You are activated into wholeness through the reflection. Sexual energy as a bridge, not a destination. Many twin flames become fixated on the intensity of telepathic sexual exchange. Feels powerful, magnetic, transformational. But power is not the goal. Integration is. Sexual energy is the bridge. It awakens dormant aspects of you. It exposes unresolved wounds. It amplifies longing. It sharpens awareness. But once it has awakened you, it asks for something higher. Can you move from desire into devotion? From intensity into stability? From longing into self-trust? Because sacred sexual energy matures. It evolves from raw activation into calm presence. When that evolution happens, something shifts. You stop chasing sensation. You begin embodying union. The moment you realize you are whole, there is a quiet turning point in every twin flame journey. It does not come with fireworks. It does not arrive with dramatic reunion. Comes with peace. You feel telepathic intimacy, and instead of reaching outward, you breathe. You feel activation, and instead of reacting, you ground. You feel connection, and instead of craving, you soften. And in that softness, you realize nothing is missing. The connection is not outside you. It never was. The sacred exchange was teaching you how to hold love without losing center. And once you learn that, something beautiful happens. The energy stabilizes. When union stops being a goal, external reunion may still happen, or it may not. But here is the truth most people avoid. Physical union is not the highest form of twin flame connection. Conscious union is. Conscious union means you are whole within yourself. You are emotionally sovereign. You are grounded in your body. You are no longer driven by lack. When telepathic sexual energy rises, it no longer destabilizes you. It strengthens you. It becomes a reminder not of what you want but of who you are. A being capable of depth, of devotion, of self-regulation, of sacred intimacy. That is soul union. The final reframe. So let us reframe the entire experience. Telepathic sexual energy is not a test, a distraction, temptation, promise, a guarantee. It is an initiation into maturity, an initiation into sovereignty, an initiation into divine balance. The energy rises to show you where you are fragmented, softens when you integrate, it intensifies when growth accelerates, and it stabilizes when wholeness is embodied. This is not about becoming worthy of your twin flame. It is about becoming worthy of yourself. The sacred exchange as a mirror. At its highest level, the sacred exchange reflects one truth. The love you feel through the connection is already inside you. The energy does not come from them. It moves through the shared field, but it awakens within you. You are not borrowing their life force. You are recognizing your own. That recognition changes everything. Instead of asking, when will we reunite? You begin asking, how deeply can I embody this love now? Because embodiment is the real union. A message for you. If you are experiencing telepathic sexual energy with your twin flame, do not fear it. Do not chase it. Do not dramatize it. Honor it. Let it rise. Let it move. Let it soften. Let it teach you. And most importantly, let it anchor you into your center. Because the most sacred exchange is not between two bodies. It is between awareness and presence. Between longing and surrender. Between desire and wholeness. And when those polarities unite within you, the external world begins to reflect that harmony. Ask yourself honestly, when the energy rises, do I lose myself? Or do I find myself more deeply? The answer reveals where you stand in your evolution. And wherever you are, there is no judgment, only growth. If this message resonated with you, if you have experienced telepathic sexual energy and questioned your sanity, if you have felt intimacy across distance and did not know how to hold it, you are not alone. This path is subtle. It is profound. And it requires maturity, not fantasy. If you are ready to explore the twin flame journey beyond myths and into conscious integration, subscribe to this channel. Share your experience in the comments below. Tell us what you have learned from your own sacred exchange. Let this space be one of clarity, not confusion, of awareness, not obsession, of empowerment, not dependency. Because the true twin flame journey is not about finding the other half. It is about realizing you were never half to begin with. And when you stand in that truth, the energy becomes sacred.